Alice's Book Story Time. Today's story is titled Peter Hatches an Egg. Mark and Vivian had been out for a walk in the woods with their mother.
"Look, Daddy," cried Mark. "We found a baby bunny."
"He's a cute little rabbit," said their father. "But where will you keep him?"
"Mother said he could live in the hen house,"
Vivian replied, cuddling the rabbit in her arms.
"We're calling him Peter," she said.
As soon as Peter was in the hen house, the hens flocked about him curiously. "Where do you come from?" asked the white hen. "What is your name?" asked the black hen.
"Where is your red crest?"
asked the brown hen. "Where are your feathers?" asked the speckled hen. But Peter didn't answer because he couldn't understand the language of the chickens.
Will he be friendly?"
one fidgety hen inquired.
"I don't think so," said another. "He has a wicked look."
"If he grows any larger," said the first hen, "he may become dangerous."
"Maybe he's a kind of cat,"
clucked the pearl hen.
"He has a coat like a cat's."
Suddenly, a wise old rooster stepped forward. "This is not a cat," he declared. "Cats fight with hens. This is a rabbit, and he means no harm to any of us." Soon, Vivian came to feed the chickens. She threw handfuls of corn kernels to them.
"I wonder what those little yellow things are,"
Peter thought.
"The chickens seem to like them."
But when Peter tasted the corn feed, he found it too hard to eat, and he wondered if the children would bring him something also. He was not disappointed, for just then Mark brought him some cabbages and carrots. When the sun was setting and the moon appeared in the sky, the chickens began climbing the ladder that led to the hen house.
"They must be going in to sleep for the night,"
thought Peter.
"But what shall I do? I can't sleep in there."
But very soon Mark brought him a box with straw in it, and in that box Peter went to sleep. Crowed the rooster early next morning, awakening not only the hens, but Peter too. In spite of his fur coat, the poor rabbit had shivered with cold all during the night.
"I'll have to dig a hole in the ground where I can be more comfortable,"
Peter thought, and he set to work at once. It was a comfortable shelter when Peter was finished. After a few days, some of the hens came to visit Peter. They watched the rabbit as he scampered about.
"He is gentle," they said, "but it's a pity that he doesn't speak our language."
Peter watched his visitors scratching the earth, striking their wings, and cackling without a stop.
"They are gentle," he thought, "but it's a pity that they chatter so much."
Of all the things that Peter saw as he lived among the chickens, only one thing really puzzled him. Every day each hen would leave a strange, round, white or brown object in her basket. And every evening Vivian or Mark would pick up the objects with great care and carry them away. Although Peter couldn't understand the language of the chickens, he knew that these objects were called eggs. One day, the white hen became very excited.
"I have laid an egg! I tell you that I have laid an egg!"
she cried.
"But where is it now? Who has taken it?"
"Where did you see it last?" the other hens asked.
"It was there, on the ground near Peter's home,"
she replied. But Peter had not seen that egg. He was sound asleep in the sun. That evening, when Peter returned to his home, he found a surprise.
"These hens are very kind,"
he said.
"Every day they give their eggs to Vivian or Mark, but today they have given one to me too."
Peter wanted to thank the chickens for their gift. He decided that he would visit them the next day. The next morning, Peter tried to get the hens' attention. He smiled, he leaped, he bowed, but nothing that he did seemed to be of interest to them. They clucked as always and looked at Peter as if nothing unusual was happening. Suddenly, Peter thought,
"Maybe the hens have changed their minds and want me to return the egg."
but this was something he didn't want to do. The days passed. It was warm in Peter's home, and the egg was safe, just where Peter had first discovered it. Every day, Peter stayed close to the entrance of his home, and at night he would sleep cuddled close to the egg.
"No one will ever take this egg away from me," he said. "I will guard it always."
And so it was for 3 weeks. One morning, Peter was awakened by a strange sound. Stranger than that, the sound seemed to be coming from the egg itself. Peter was puzzled, and when the egg moved, he leaped back in amazement. Suddenly, the egg burst into pieces, and there, standing before the astonished rabbit, was a fuzzy yellow chick. It kept calling, That same morning, Vivian and Mark brought some grain for the chickens and a cabbage for Peter. They both opened their eyes wide and could hardly believe what they saw.
"Mother, Mother,"
they shouted.
"come quick! Peter has a little baby, but it's a chick baby."
"A chick? Peter, are you dreaming?" asked their astonished mother.
"No, no," they cried. "We have seen it together."
But when the hens saw the baby chick, they were furious. They didn't want any chicks in the yard but the ones that they had hatched themselves, and they chased the chick toward the farmhouse. When the children's father came home, he explained what had happened. "There is no doubt that Peter has helped to hatch this chick," he said. "An egg probably fell into his tunnel, and just as a mother hen keeps her eggs warm by sitting on it, Peter's fur coat and the earth also kept the egg warm." For several days, the tiny chick was fed cooked rice and also bread that had been soaked in milk, and each day he grew stronger.
"He is strong enough,"
said Mother to the children one day.
"You can place him with the other chickens. They will not chase him now."
And so it was. Peter was happy. He had learned that certain eggs, when kept warm, hatch into new little chicks. And he learned also that little chicks, when treated with care and kindness, make very good pets. Thank you for listening to Peter Hatches an Egg. Visit Mrs. Books for another story and keep reading those books. Remember Mrs. Books' favorite words, learn to love books. Bye for now, boys and girls.